On a sad note, but since I like to think of us as family here, a very big loss in our Fox family that I want to share with you now. Annie Goodman has died. Some of you might remember Annie. She was the young producer who came out from behind the camera to talk about something horrible on camera, something horrible that was happening to her, and something she wanted to bring attention to so more young women wouldn't have to follow her. That something was triple-negative cancer. It's a particularly virulent form of cancer for which treatment is limited and recurrence all but inevitable. Annie knew her odds, but she also knew she wasn't going down without a fight. Yours was caught early on. What happened?
Mine was caught stage 2B, which means that the tumor is about 3.5 centimeters. It spread to one lymph node. I had a mastectomy. I had 16 rounds of chemotherapy, and I had 25 rounds of radiation. And I only lasted a remission 1 year.
And it was just starting. When I asked her how it felt to be the face of the disease, leave it to Annie to zing back, "I'm just sorry I couldn't offer a pretty face." She was pretty wrong, but always funny, always blunt, always fighting, never quitting. Leave it to a woman who refused to let you have the last word, to let this most obscure and lethal of cancers continue to leave the world in the dark. Annie chronicled every turn, every treatment, every fit, every start. Sometimes she made you cry, but sometimes it's as if she'd pull a Cher in Moonstruck and slap herself out of it. That is when Annie would talk about things like her hair and about her wigs. Man, oh man, did Annie have a lot of wigs. One time, she stopped by my office sporting a particularly garish one and asked me, "Do you think it makes me look fat?" Only Annie. A woman for whom the New York Yankees were an obsession, and Derek Jeter an even bigger obsession, bordering on a weird one. A news junkie, but one who, as the disease progressed, began wondering aloud whether a lot of it was just junk, and all of us were too obsessed with that junk. I don't think Annie would mind if I shared this tweet from her back on October 28th when she wrote, and I quote, "I beg the world, stop complaining. Find ways to be happy. Seriously, dig deep. Even in my worst times, I still try, no matter how hard. Leave it to a woman young enough to be my daughter to offer wisdom way, way beyond her years. And maybe this suddenly sadder holiday season jar us back to things that matter in life." Everyone complains about silly things and this problem, this pressure. You must just shake your head and say, what?
I wish I had your problems. Because sometimes I think about it, and this has only been in my life for 2 years. Sometimes it's hard to remember what my life was like before cancer. Yeah. Because sometimes it's hard to remember what were the trivial things I complained about before cancer, and it was like, I can't catch a cab, this city sucks, or stupid things like that. Yeah. And, you know, you remember what's important. You want to experience as much as you can. That's the big thing, is like stuff no longer matters. It's not about having, you know, things. It's about spending time with your family. It is about having experiences that I've always wanted to do, and you want to cram in as many things as possible because you just don't know.
Annie, you get the last word. But just this last time, because you left us speechless, kiddo. Annie Goodman, gone way too soon at 33.